Okay, so we are ending the battle right now with full health, and that heal is crazy. Clemyth!
7K dreamer, please.
Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. Today we'll be checking out Mythical Awaken Clemyth in the video, and to be very honest, I was not expecting her to be so good, okay? When recording this, I was entirely in awe, in shock, because, you know, from her skill set, it didn't make me feel like she's very interesting. But finally in practice, we see that it's entirely different. Here I'm using Eve as my speed leader because I have no choice. I'm actually running a semi-tank kind of team, okay? My units are more bulky. Eve is the only frail one. She's the only one with the highest speed as well. That's why she's my speed leader. And then I'm running Wukong because I need Wukong for the buff block. And without that, you know, I think it's very difficult to run anything in the meta right now, okay? But focus is on Clemyth, okay? But I'm just explaining to you guys the team, and it's been a while since I made an arena video, almost about 2 weeks or more, so do bear with me if I ramble too much, okay? But you can see that the damage I'm taking is not a lot, and do take note, I have a level 9 rule here, and before you go telling me off that, oh, you have a level 9 rule, everything is possible, in this video I used another pet. And it's not Mr. Armor, and that pet is not even awakened, okay? And you guys will see it later on in this video, so just bear with me. But look at this match first, okay? So far things are very balanced, okay, between the two players, me and the enemy. Also, I didn't make a Randgrid review video, so in this video I will talk a little bit about her, not too much, because I think at some point I will still make a Randgrid video. I think her time is not yet here, even though she is actually incredible. Okay, yeah, as I use the word incredible. Her skill set is not too fantastic, but she does deal some damage, and you can see right now that I'm almost being destroyed. My Clemyth has not moved a single time in this entire match, and I was a little worried because, you know, what's a Clemyth video if there is no Clemyth moving? Right now I blinded all the enemies. So Clemyth is about to move. You see that she is still alive, okay? She actually has incredible HP and bulk, almost a little lower than Rosie's only, and that's it. Look at the heal, okay? Not fantastic right there. But it's okay, we're gonna see greater stuff later on. So the Judas completely missed, and I did not get feared at all. Okay, I have no idea why, but it is what it is. Wukong destroys the enemy team, and now we are up against just one Judas. Okay, so in case you forget, Judas actually has a reduction of recovery by 80%. And I completely sped up this part because she's healing 30,000 each skill. Okay, and her Awaken skill resets all her other skills. So she just continuously heals. Just look at that, she's at full health again. I mean, I could have died to death here, okay, but ultimately I still prevailed. That's how cool she is. And if you weren't convinced by that, it's okay, we'll continue with this next match. So again, I just want to reiterate that she is now a support hero. She's no longer magic, which means it's a little difficult to move her around in teams because of the 3-man, you know, requirement. So right here, I'm using a universal team base with Clemyth and Eve as the other two random ones. For her passive, she does increase her own recovery rate by 50%. Okay, she provides 6 turn immunity to stun, which is good against enemy skulls. And she also recovers allies, 5 allies HP when using her own skill. Unfortunately, she gets feared here, but it's okay. We'll see her in action very, very soon. You can see the damage I take is not a lot, really not a lot. And this is also thanks to Rule, who reduces crit rate and lethal rate by 30%. Okay, mine is only 30%. And then, 20%. Okay, level 9 is only 20%. And also, because of my Randgrid, she increases my front lines defense by 3,000. Rule increases by 1,000, so that's 4,000. And since the enemy is running Yonji, then pretty much my defense is back at baseline because Yeonhee and Yeonji reduces 2000 each. Okay, you see that my Clemyth is actually still on full health. So her bulk is definitely something. Okay, for her top skill, she deals 400% to 3 enemies, destroys their armor, and increases my entire team's attack. This is the bottom skill. She deals 400% to 3 enemies, 80% chance to silence, and did you see that heal? She also casts a shield, 20,000 shield, HP shield, which is freaking amazing because enemies like Judas cannot do anything to the shield. He doesn't do enough damage to break the shield. So if she uses this at a much later stage, there's almost nothing. And her top skill, she has yet to use it. So Awaken skill is ready. This is the one that gives skill nullification and also resets her cooldown. So think about it. If the moment she resets her cooldown, while your other heroes are still on cooldown, she will use her skill, and when she uses her skill, she will heal again. Okay, you realize that even with enemy Judas, she does heal quite a significant amount. And right now, I'm literally using 3 tanky units that have no damage output to try to hit through. So yeah, she healed for another about 28,000 again. And with block, you know, she is almost untouchable. She's so strong, she's so tanky. And now it's really just about walling out, stalling for time. And now I get the shield again, which enemy Judas can, you know, just forget it. He can't do anything to me. Also do take note that my Randgrid is level 40 and she's literally still alive. So yeah, I'm actually very impressed, not gonna lie. Especially with this team, thanks to my friend and also the previous champion TL Reskill who gave me this tip. Definitely champion brain. So it's super strong and I'm very happy with it. Also pretty amazed. So this time we are facing a magic team. Previously we were facing a mixed team, I guess. Yeah, but this is a kind of like a pure magic team, so we'll see how that goes. You do realize that matches also take very long right now because of the bulk that I have. It's not as fast as you might imagine it to be because it depends on how you gear your heroes. And for this video, I decided to go with lethal for her to get her really low skill cooldown. Okay, but some of you may think that since she resets her own cooldown, you can go with crit as well, because actually if I go with crit here, she will do a lot more damage because of the lethal provided by Randgrid. Okay, so lethal, crit, both are okay. For her HP, for her armor, I went with block because block is just super OP right now. Okay, and then for her accessory, I've given her the physical damage reduction, height, and purification. I think as long as you give her purification so that she is able to use her skills is completely fine. And then try to give her height so that she doesn't get countered too badly and die too fast. Okay? For her jewels, I gave her survive for 1 HP, block rate and block reduction, as well as magic attack increase to boost her healing, because ultimately her healing is based off her magic attack. For her traits, I've given her electrify, silence, and death. Okay, these are just general traits, nothing too fancy there. You can also give traits like damage reduction, so she takes less damage from certain enemy types, or you can give different kind of resistances for her as well, like bleed, which is very good. Okay, so take note, the scope did huge damage to me here. I'm literally down to 40% health. So look at this skill. She healed about 54,000 and my health is all back. Even though Yeonhee brings it down again, you know, back to 40%. Here, skill nullification. I mean, what can the enemy do? I mean, just think about it. You know, 60,000 heal now. the fact that she uses her skill so late is very good. She resets her own cooldown, so she uses her skill again. And I get more heals. You see how it goes? You see how crazy it can go? So just in case you guys say that, oh, I'm running this very OP pet, I'm gonna use Pike. Okay, no one can argue about Pike here. Pike is an awakened pet. He increases HP by 10%, increases status resist rate by 10%, and something else, which is not very important, I believe. Or decrease your skill cooldown by 10%. So actually he's pretty good for Clemyth, because Clemyth you hope that Clemyth uses a skill more. Not too early, of course, because if she uses her awakened skill too early, then that's not very good. But there's something I realized about Clemyth, and is that they kind of adjusted her skill priority, such that when she does have her awakened skill ready, if she has any skill, she has both skills not used yet, she will use a skill first. Then the awakened skill is going to help to reset that skill, which is very genius, and I think this is very, very good AI programming on their part, and I really appreciate it. So as you can see, this is a Pike team, and it's still doing very well, but of course the focus is more so on the offensive capabilities of my team, not so much the tankiness, I would say, because without rule, your tankiness does take a little drop. Okay, just take a little drop in terms of the damage received and all that. So right here, the way I'm fighting is kind of like a little mid defensive, but also more offensive in a way. And I'm really relying on poison and bleed to get through to things, and Wukong here has burn as well, so there's a lot of crippling damage. Here I face a death team, which is something that I hate the most, because when meeting death teams when recording, it's almost like a complete waste of time. Because I die too fast, right? But nonetheless, I want to put this match in because I think it's pretty epic. So in fact, the death team seems pretty tanky as well. Unfortunately, he kills off my Randgrid and my Clemyth immediately, but you realize that my back line has no death except Judas, right? And that is thanks to Randgrid's status effect resist rate, Pike's 10% resist rate, and my formation's resist rate. In total, I have about 50% status effect resist rate just from that alone. And if you give your heroes death resist, then they're almost completely resistant to death, even despite the death team's very high death casting. So I think that's where this team kind of shines as well, because the resist rate at base for my backline is already 50%. Maybe that is also the reason why sometimes I don't actually receive fear from the enemy. Okay, and these are things you can think about. And also, when I make a Randgrid video, I'll talk more about this, but I feel that the meta may shift towards a more status effect resistant team meta, team comp kind of idea. Yeah. So this is an offensive team. As we know, offensive team is strong, very strong. Okay. Nonetheless, we will try our best because I'm using a universal team. Universal teams haven't gotten an actual buff, okay, so far. Randgrid wasn't targeted specifically for universal teams, Clemyth neither. So I'm using them in a universal team to try to get the bulk up. So unfortunately, this skill has paralyzed, and I do paralyze the enemy team because he doesn't use Cult, which is very surprising for offensive team. But nonetheless, you see that I actually can break down the enemy team pretty well, despite going with a more defensive kind of approach. And here, Clemyth again. Heals for 54,000. Unfortunately, she dies here, which is really sad, but 54,000 heal once again. I think that alone is enough to save me from dying to an offensive team. Like, can you imagine you're about to die and then this big heal comes in? It literally can protect you. I mean, imagine my Randgrid was still around, of course, then I would have more bulk, but yeah, now I'm really down to offensive power. But my Wukong is actually still almost close to full health. I think that's also thanks to the heal, because otherwise it's gonna be very difficult. So you guys might be thinking, how did Eve become a speed leader? How did I gear her? I actually given her typical speed leader stuff and also the Berserker ring. Okay, so that's why she can hit so hard when she's at lower HP. So let me know what you guys think of this team and what you guys think of Clemyth and Rue's introduction to the game. I think they really bring a lot of variety and it's surprising because I was not too excited about Arena until now. So I think this was a pretty decent update and I'm pleasantly surprised. So big shout out to my channel members, ZMD, Phoenix, Doppelganger, Reggie Bautista for the support. Stay tuned for more videos. Thank you so much and see you!